Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 2022, and welcome.
Boo-hoo.
Happy New Year to each and every one of you. If you haven't heard that from us already, and welcome as per always. Welcome to BeoTalk 191. Bloody hell, we're approaching 3 years quickly.
I know. It's got a cool name to it, 191. It's like a model number. BeoTalk 191, man. That's where it's at.
Hope everybody had a good New Year. Hope everybody still has all their digits and that sort of thing.
And members. You never know. Sometimes it'll go off in your lap.
Yeah, let's hope not.
That's right.
Thank you, Wood Cassette, for resubscribing to Twitch. Thank you very much, good sir. As per always, super chats are open if you want a guaranteed answer to your topic and or question. If you want to subscribe on Twitch or become a member, there's a button next to the subscribe button on the YouTube side. Very much appreciated. Thank you to all the members last year. I was just looking back. I did a live stream a little bit of the illegal fireworks that were bloody everywhere.
Shooting Corona everywhere, man.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the sort of stats thing, and last year I couldn't even bloody stream from mobile because we didn't reach I think it was 1,000 subs or something at that point, and we're 2.5x that. So thank you everybody for subscribing. It's actually really, really fucking cool.
I think we're doing some right then.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know what we're doing.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
4K.
4K what?
Resolution.
Oh, we can do 4K if you want.
No, I don't want the 4K of my face on my face. No, actually, I didn't make any resolutions. The only one that I did really was decided to. Hopefully, this will be the last New Year's and Christmas in Canada for me. That's what I'm hoping for. So, hoping to move to States. And that's about all there is to resolute. And yeah, I finished my mom's house literally on a New Year's Day, on New Year's Eve, I guess. So it's all cleaned up. My OCD is now in check. Holy shit! Thanks, Prestige.
Thank you, Prestige Creators.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, I didn't really do much, just vegged out. One thing that I had, I should really try not to swear in 2022. That's going to be fucking impossible, dude. I'm going to say no to it.
Prestige Creators' question is, how much would you pay for a cup of coffee right now since you're out of coffee?
I do have coffee still.
Wait, it's the last one? Were you just bullshitting me earlier that you didn't have any coffee anymore?
No, dude, this is I'm redlining it now. I have, I think, 4 capsules left, and 5 of those I hate. So, and I'm drinking the one that number 5 right now. So I gotta go and grab some espressos, grab some capsules. But yeah, just messing about with my phone and the portals.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play the games in sync. Like, music is okay because you don't see lips, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I play the video game, like that goofy ass Command and Conquer, like when you tap on the menu button, right? The sound comes, I don't know, about a half a second behind of the action. So I don't know how. Is it like the Android thing? I didn't try it on my iPad yet.
I'll have to check it later, but I don't remember that happening to me.
But you have an iPhone.
Yeah, the good kind of phone.
Dick. But maybe that's how Steve maybe has issues with the H95s with the Echo and the Bluetooths or whatever.
Maybe, but he's on a wired connection.
See, for me, USB-C to the phone doesn't even work as a wired connection.
No,
it doesn't do sound. That sucks.
I think that's more a phone thing than a headphone thing.
Oh yeah.
Christian says I have an Android, no problems.
But what do you play games on it or not? Because like I don't have issues connecting and like it works on a Skype and all this shit. It's just that particular game, I guess, or the only one that I play, so I wouldn't know any other ones, has that problem that the sound is delayed. But anyways, I digress. Let's go over our stuff.
Have you seen literally, quite literally, the video of the year of last year?
No.
Three of my favorite companies and a very good YouTuber all work together. So we have Prestige Creators coming together with Andrew Robinson and Sounds Heavenly Cables.
Okay.
Which is really rather sweet. And yeah, it's this may not be our favorite, but it looks damn good in the video.
Let's see it. Can
well,
you see it?
Yeah, it's already on the screen. You're just behind, probably.
No, my actual screen is now all froze up. I don't know. The Chrome is communist. Communist Chrome. Let's go back to YouTube's. All right, I'm back in. Yeah, man. I don't know what's happening here, but my poo just crashed.
Again?
Just the Chrome does. I don't know, for some reason my screen goes all black and shit. I don't know what is going on.
Maybe you should try Internet Explorer.
Fucking go bing yourself, dude. Twitch. There we go. I'm back. I'm back in line. Online. So yeah. It's I don't know, I still don't like the 4000s with that shit on.
I kind of do like this with the black.
It is a good contrast, don't get me wrong, but I'm just it's they just chafe on me wrong. Like I like the 8000s looking good.
I mean,
it looks good there though.
Yeah, I like the 8000s as well. Remember how Andrew was in chat? Was it 2-3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And we were railing a bit on the core.
Yeah.
And that it's too expensive for what it does. Well, yeah. It seems like he agrees now.
Well, so he should, because it is true.
I mean, I just thought that was the funniest thing, because anybody that was in the chat, if you saw it, he was sort of defending that it was quite a good product. But in the video, it was sort of like, well, it is $1,000 and it doesn't really give you all that much tonal control.
Fuck, let alone the tonal control. How many streaming services can you really pipe into it? Well, unless you use AirPlay, I guess, right?
Adam asks, how much worth are the BeoPlay portal, or does the BeoPlay EA 3.0 do it for just hearing music? What do you think? Well, it depends on what you want to do. I have both. My main daily drivers, I would say, are E8s. But you also have to like the in-ear headphones, and I know not everybody does. Then again, the reason I like it, the E8s, is because I can wear them and go to the food store and not have this giant thing on my head.
Fucking dozer driver.
Well, especially now when it's cold, right? I quite often, well, it's not cold today or yesterday, but if I wear like a woolly hat or something of that nature, like you either choose to put the hat over the headphones, or you put the hat over your head first and then the headphones on top of your hat.
I just don't use the headphones and you don't look like a douche.
But with E8s, it's fine. Like with E8s, you just pull them over the E8s and nothing happens.
Yeah, well, I don't have that problem. I used to be a big into the in-ear headphones, and when I first bought my A8s, which are, was it 2004, I believe? It was 2004 when I got the BeoSound 2 and the A8s with it, with the headphones, right? The original ones.
Mm.
I never went back to in-ears, and now I don't like them. So, to each their own, I guess, but I don't know. I find these sound great for what they do, but depends on what you want to do also. Because if you want to play games, then the E8s are nowhere near gonna be as good as the portals are, especially with the Dolby Atmos and all that crazy shit that you can activate it within.
If you
So,
can only have one, I would say go for the portals. You'll
mhm,
like them more.
yes.
But like I said, it depends on what you want to do with them. If it's mostly in and around the house, that sort of thing, portals all the way. If it's for outside and train and that sort of whatever, then uh, go for the E8s. That's what I would do. Also, the portals last way longer on battery. I'm seeing over on Twitch that people are saying, and I saw this too, that Andrew should have routed the cables through the pipe. But
Yeah,
then again,
I've been eating on it for a while now.
but I guess if you're not that used to B&O, this seems normal because most brands don't take the time to perfect that sort of stuff, right?
Mhm.
Because if you take any bookshelf speakers that come on stands, the cable hangs off the sort of stand.
Plus, those stands are really tight clearance, so you really have to know how to do it, and also where the clamps are, because it's looking like it's completely off to the side. It's not challenging, but it's yeah, I agree, it should have been done well. Then again, how long has he had them set up like that for? A few weeks and for a review, and then they go, or this is his permanent scent?
No, they go back to his PC speakers.
Okay, so yeah, I'd still do it for the sake of pictures, because now it's forever, right? Like, it's on the video, fuck.
Yeah. Well, then
But
again, if you don't know, I've had these sort of derpy moments where I videoed something and in editing I was like, oh, god damn it, this is so obvious that I did it wrong.
that's funny shit.
So I have to like make a little annotation of derp or whatever.
Oh boy, that's
But it
funny.
happens. Like, what are you going to do?
We're all human. Oh, this was the most awful coffee. Oh,
Take it off of YouTube and re-upload it just because of this? I mean,
that's
in
right.
the end,
Typo.
in the end, I don't think it looks all that bad because it's
Mm-mm.
nice and white and it's
Mm.
it's cable managed and the power cable and the speaker cable are,
At least it's used the loom, right?
yeah.
But I'm trying to just understand. What do you guys think about Andrew's conclusion that the 4000 sent close to the 28s?
I would say that's not accurate what he said. He said the 28s in narrow mode are similar to 4000s with a sub. And the sub is right there, and it's not some wimpy sub either.
Yeah, and a sub, it does make a big difference, and it's not a B&O sub either. So
Because if he were to say 4000 by themselves without a powerful sub were the same or similar in any way to 28, I would say he's not. But he isn't.
yeah,
Because
no,
I think I
with that
watched
kind
the
of
video.
statement, you'd lose my credibility. You'd lose your credibility with me. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Andrew, if you're listening, I watched your video like 3 times because it's not often B&O comes across other channels.
No, it does not.
And especially the older stuff. I really like that you're even willing to pay attention to this sort of thing. I mean, especially in North America, like if you watch the where he talks to his Mrs. wife, girlfriend, I'm not entirely sure, I think wife, but they go over of the problems in North America doing any of this. Like finding the bloody stands is harder than finding 3-4 other sets of speakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did the stage. Yeah, he did the stage too, didn't he?
Yeah, and he did 28, and he loved them. I mean, as per the video, he loves Bang & Olufsen. It's just that it's nigh on impossible to get it easily in North America.
Yeah, you guys have no idea.
I mean, not only that, secondhand pricing in North America versus here is
Absurd.
yes. And I hope one day he'll get a set of 17s to compare them to his 4000s. Because at least he could buy those here because they're universal power supplies. Which would actually be nice.
That sucks. The stands got lost in transit. Prestige says they sent him with the covers. Yeah, that's even my worry now. I finally sold one of the BeoSound 5s on eBay, but it's 3 boxes. So I'm thinking that I don't know if Monday anybody's opened, but I might drive to Audi and actually make a big box and ship it out to him with a one big giant box instead of risking
Yeah.
piecing it out. So
I would be very annoyed, yeah, Prestige, that you sent us a pair of stands and the mail just lost it. It's that sort of stuff is infuriating because most likely somebody saw what it was and had a quick Google and it's like, yoink, mine
mhm,
now.
probably.
Also, regardless of the B&O surcharge, stands for 4000s are quite rare.
You know what I've seen in my career and existence here? I have seen the 4,000 stands in one house. Out of all the 4,000s that have ever been sold in Calgary, there was only one dude that had them on the fucking floor stands. Everybody else, wall, wall, and wall. Very seldom that there was even table stands. It was just wall brackets everywhere. So,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
when those plates that mount on the wall plates got so valuable because people usually would just take the speaker off and leave the plates on or forget them, and then you're fucked. You come to a next apartment next to a place, right? Come in there to set it up. I'm like, where's those plates? And they just look at you and like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, you've left them. But back in the day, we could still order them. Now it's I think only STB Brackets that makes those. Still,
I'm not even sure they still do.
I think they do still,
Oh,
or they
that's
might
good.
have some, or they may have some. Like I've ordered some
Well, they can always
obscure
make a
shit from them.
custom run or a one of one or something like that.
That's right, like the Biogram 4000C.
David W says I have the stands for the 17s. They look best on them. I think they don't look bad. I like the floor stands. I would just say the STB wall bracket looks better.
Hmm.
That's all I would say, really. Where the logo is the correct side up and they actually point down a bit. I mean, the B&O bracket for some reason is upside down, so you have to like look at your logo like that.
Thorsten Valur had a huge issue with it, but they left it anyways, and then STB Brackets made it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, mine are on the B&O bracket, but since it's aluminium, you can barely read the label anyway.
Yeah, yeah, the black ones those letters would just shine out of it.
Yeah, I mean, also with the height they are, I mean, you have to get really close before you can even see it.
Hmm.
And yeah, with this speaker over here, I'm especially never that close, other than dusting. But
Yeah,
it's whatever. It is what it is.
yeah, I like this the freestanding speakers more in like from what I personally owned over the years. I only had hmm, I only had 4,000s and 8,000s wall mounted in my house ever, and then the rest was all uh well freestanding speakers, 5, 9, 6,000, whatever, all of them more or less.
I mean, I do like the 17s on floor stands, but they're quite low, really.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they're not ideal for surround speakers behind a couch or something like
Oh
that.
hell no, man! They're lower than 9s for God's sakes at that point.
I mean, they're about, what is it, about 15, 20 centimeters lower than threes, even.
Yeah, and the tweeter is in the middle of that speaker, not on top like on the 3s, where it can actually do something still.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
no, I like them.
don't get me wrong. I love 17s. They're great. I'm still a bit sad that that they're EOL and done for.
Well, shit, they didn't sell, man.
Yeah, but they also didn't market them.
No, but isn't that always the case with B&O? They don't market the 90s really. It's just like a hidden gem now. You have to go look and search for it. They market the cheap shit, the cash and carry stuff, a lot
Well,
more than they market or should be marketing their core products. My opinion.
I get it to a point because like the return on investment and that sort of thing, but for the time it takes to do it, but like, don't you want people to aspire to your flagship? Like even
Right?
50s, even your non-flagship technically. You hardly ever see that.
Hmm.
Which is yeah. Hmm.
I don't get why they don't have them in the movies more. Like, the Koreans had it in the freaking what's that shooting game? The Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game.
You know,
Woodconset says my only complaint about the 17s is with the plastic end caps. I get your
they had to be.
I
They
get your
had to be.
drift, but I do like it for cable management and just quick connections and that sort of thing. It's quite easy and
If plastic caps weren't there and you made them aluminium, then you wouldn't really have much for WISA because there are 4 antennae and 3 of them are underneath those plastic caps. One's right by the floor stand attachment. I've seen those getting ripped out when people don't know what they're doing. Just antenna, just bing, man down, and yeah, there's one on each side and one in the front between the speaker drivers.
I'm looking at a 17 right there, and mine are aluminium and white on the side, and I really can't be fussed about that. That it's plastic. Like I can't really tell from here anyway.
No, but it has to be. So you all just need to have to change your diapers and live with it.
I mean, they could have sold even less if that was metal, because the price would
See,
have
like
gone up like crazy.
if they did that from wood, then the price of that would have been even way more expensive, in my opinion. Because to bend that wood into that shape, which down now you're talking plywood, it would not be cheap, man. It would not be cheap. It would look cool, but then would you pay an extra $700 more or less on the speaker for having the wood covers?
Yeah,
So
I got a half decent shot by the way. This is normally at nighttime with the spotlights coming down, and you can't see any of the drivers really,
mhm.
which is a nice look at night.
I like it.
I mean, it's so intricate, and it's. I still can't fathom why I didn't buy them like this when this cover came out. Well, technically, I bought them before this cover was even a thing, but so
Hmm.
I get it. But I mean, I waited like what, nearly 2 years after this was out to get this cover. Couldn't be happier.
No, it's a great looking speaker, man. I think this is the best looking variant of the BeoLab 50 when it comes to the front finish. Like
Yeah,
I don't care what quadrat or whatever cloth you want to put over top of it. This is refined shit. Like this is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very gazeable, right? Like you can just sit and stare into it.
Oh, I quite often find myself doing like if I like put my phone and think about something, it's like you sort of like, hey, I'm sitting here like a minute or two, like looking at like, is this line straight or does it curve or is it that way technically or what are we doing here? Or are they like crossing like that?
Yeah, yeah, because they do look like they would go all over the map, man. That on its own makes me want to buy these speakers. But
David asks, will they bring out the BMW grill for it? All these.
oh man, that would look hideous with
Yeah.
the red and blue stripe on one of the put the lines there. The M Performance or whatever it is. Oh boy.
Oh, generic enthusiast asked, didn't BeoPlay outperform the rest of the company at some point? Yeah, I think it did. I mean, it makes sense that it would because it's higher volume sales, right? Like they sold by now over 1 million of the E8 earphones, and
But at the beginning, the BeoPlay really backfired because that was the first time that they went online sales, like or online sales. I remember when that happened because I was working for B&O at the time or at the shop, and people were pissed. And we did get more returns than the shit we've sold because people were coming in and they wanted either replacements and they just go okay because the B&O at the time didn't really have it figured out, and a lot of people that would buy B&O, they should go to the flagship store or whatever store and get an exchange. So we kept the fucking ordering headphones and Beolit 12s like till, oh my god, there was so many of them that went. So I didn't like that about the Beo Play, but it did sell a lot of shit. They, obviously they went on Amazon, so that sold quite a bit of stuff for them. But yeah, I I didn't approve of the Beo Play, but I did like the concept and idea. I think that they should have just done it a little differently than that. I think they should have had it online sales only through the B&O's website. I think that would make more sense for them than outsourcing that to like Amazons and all that. But given the incapability of their customer service department, even at the time, I don't think that would be a feasible solution because they don't have the capacity to deal with it, and not even capacity. I don't think that they even have the social responsibility to deal with it properly. And I don't know why is it like that, but that's just where it's at. So I don't know. That's all I got to say to that.
Bio John said I had all white 17s with the white fabric on the floor stand for a short time. They were extremely good and looked stellar. One of the speaker pairs I should have never sold. Yeah, I feel you. They're very underappreciated speakers, and I sort of get why B&O didn't sell as many. But also, it's like, come on, guys, you have this little bit of magic in the. Because Forest 1000 sold fantastic, but they were also marketed everywhere. Like, I still have somewhere down here in my little cabinet a bunch of old marketing material, and you see 4000s everywhere. Like the 17s, you saw, what, nowhere? Not even on Instagram?
No, they didn't. They got a couple of these awkward ass pictures, like one on the floor stand, one on the table, which is so weird because everybody listens to it like that. I'm gonna buy two freaking stands and I'm gonna use one of each only. So yeah, they didn't really sell. I don't know why they didn't sell. People didn't like them. Then the stupid broken ice collection, when the broken ice grills that they came out with, they fucking turned yellow.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I still have one. I keep them out of the sun for that purpose.
Yeah, dude, because we had them like in the window and it was literally over a weekend. Like they just turned to nonsense. So yeah.
Generic Enthusiast says, my stage had an issue, or has an issue, and I'm getting directed to the store.
Well, where did you buy it if it's unfair to you or to them in your opinion?
Well, probably Amazon. If I'm not mistaken, you're in Canada. And if then the help desk says go to the store, it's like, fuck! It's like 1,000K away.
Yeah. I wonder what's your problem with it, man. I'm quite interested what's going on.
I don't know. Transylvania says, can I ask how the BeoPlay A9 sounds in stereo? I never heard it before. I really like the Arctic Ice color. Do you mean stereo pair as in two A9s? Or as
That's probably what he means.
Because
it's a stereo already.
Yeah. I've never heard it. I can only assume good because so far every other speaker that is stereo that I've tried in stereo
is insane.
It is really good. It's
I think A9 would be insane in stereo mode. It would be like two lab 20s basically.
Yeah.
that's what you're looking at,
I mean,
which is quite cheaper.
Wood Cassette says the A9 is pretty badass in stereo. Can totally foresee that happening. I just never stereo paired two. Like when I did my video, I borrowed one from my dealer. So it's not like I can go like, hey, do you have another one that you may not want to sell for the foreseeable weeks?
Yeah, because they're not cheap, but that's yeah, that would be insane in stereo mode. Yeah, it would be insane. Yeah, 17s and 19 is a good combo.
At that point, I
Oh, you
think
got stereo subs. That's even better. That's crazy.
at that point I think I would rather have 18s, but I guess I understand for the price difference that it's maybe not feasible.
I think 17s kick more ass than 18s ever will.
Yes, but the 17s are more towards bass by themselves naturally than the 18s are. And if you have dual subs, you don't need that more unless you're really into bass. Like in my opinion, the 18s do better in the like mid range, really, in vocals and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Where the 17s are more well rounded by themselves. And actually a bit more towards the lower end of so like male vocals and lower, whereas the 18s are more like male vocals and up sort of deal. So if you have two subs, like the sub already fills in that spot at the bottom, especially when you have two.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you it's sweet nonetheless, especially if you like a lot of modern music, because modern music is tuned to bass like crazy anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because it says we used to have a DJ come in and spin outside the store in San Francisco out of two A9s.
Yeah, last time John was with us, he was talking about I think the party he went to for B&O, and they had a DJ come in, and he was also playing music off two A9s. So next time John, next time John is on, I'll remember to ask him. Happy New Year, Lenny.
Happy New Year, bro. Yeah, man, I definitely would like to hear those in stereo. Because one A9 is a lot of power, dude. It's a lot of power.
For most rooms, it's plenty.
They should put those in tiny homes.
Well, I guess you could hang it off the ceiling.
No, just hang it on the wall. Or a freaking stage. Shit, like if you got 300, because I started watching some of these tiny home, the channels and shit, just out of curiosity. I don't know why, but I like that compressed down to nothing living. And it's pretty fun. A lot of people have TVs and stuff, but I'm like, shit, man, like I would have had a stage or something. Like not many people have a sound bar even, but I would put a stage in an apartment in a place that's small would be more than enough, man.
If you live in a tiny home, aren't you better off with a balance?
Set of 90s, bro.
Well, they're heavy enough to tie like your hanging mat in the middle.
Shit,
yeah,
fucking thing. That would be now a hurricane-proof tiny home because they ain't gonna get lifted off. Yeah, dude, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy to have. I would have a set of 28s. I think if I were to sell everything, I would get the set of 28s in a tiny home and have a tiny party.
I mean, yeah. By the way, for the people that haven't yet, go look at Andrew's video and just remember where I was just on it and I clicked again. Bloody hell! He's using this sub with the speakers with a Blue Sound node, so he has tonal control. And this, coming back to it, it's actually kind of funny because the Blue Sound node has full tonal control and HDMI in and all that, so he used it for TV as well, and it's half the price of a core. So go watch it again if we misunderstood what was going on. It's great. He also has a fantastic video early in the year. Where is it? About 28s.
Hmm.
Is this the right one?
So Lenny was asking me about a software. What through the email? What phones are you talking about? This is my first question. So let me know, because I have all the shit, and I can. I guess we can do that. What is it that we transfer? Yeah, they sent Henrik a whole bunch of like B-roll footage and shit when I did a video with him, so I could send you Beocom 2 and Beocom 6000. Are you in Europe or?
Yeah.
Uh, I have like I don't know if you. I have the tools. Fuck, I'll show you. So this is a bag that has all the BNO tools. Oh shit! I forgot I even have a 1401 to test the lines, baby. And this is the software update tool for the Beocom 2. So I don't know if you need that. So there's that. Then I made special craft pliers. These are to pull that little son of a bitch out and retainer and change the battery in Beocom 2. Then there is a Beoline 1 update kit. So we got that going on for us here. Like showing you my fucking B&O bug out bag here. It's this here. And Beocom 1 and 6000 tool as well. There you go.
Thank you, Transylvania.
So there's that. And I also have the Beocom 5 service tool, which is basically a charger and a couple things. But you also will need these cables. Well, some of them. Do you? I think so. Yeah. You will need of the RS-232. And there's all kinds of shit, I think. I'm missing something. Because it all plugs into a little phone thing. Yeah. It's inside here. Yeah, there you go. And then it goes to a USB RS-232. This is such a convoluted way to do updates back in the day, for the love of Christ. So you plug this to that, and then this goes to that, and then that goes to one of whatever you're upgrading or flashing software on, or firmware, I guess. And then you cross your fingers, close your eyes, and don't look at it, don't touch it, don't breathe on it, and in a few minutes you should be finished. So that is the story of phone updates. So let me know, Lenny, what you need, if I can. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll send you that whole bag, obviously, as long as you send it back. And then I can pack a freaking USB stick to it as well. So then you can do the... Oh, you just need the software? Oh, shit. All right. Hold on. I don't have it on this computer.
Transylvania asks, can you describe the difference in sound between the BeoSound Edge and the BeoPlay A9? It's kind of confusing how they differ other than price. Part of the reason there's a price difference is obviously for the Edge, the intricate motion volume rocking control thing, which is, I guess, sort of cool, but also the Craftsman, in that they managed to get the aluminium so thin they could shine light through it. So you're paying for a bunch of that. In terms of sound difference, an A9 is round, just like the Edge, but the speakers are sort of pointing that way, right? Sort of like how, I don't know, boobs are pointed, I guess.
Cockeyed boobs and shit.
Whereas if you want to stay with the same thing, the BeoSound Edge has like one boob on the front and one boob on the back. Which is for stereo, for symmetry, not the best. It's, in my estimation, something like the Edge is made for power in a sense, the way it's made, but more so for ambient music slash a hallway, something of that nature. Whereas an A9 is much more meant as a stereo speaker that you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Because so if you have the coin, right, like the BSN Edge, like left or right is that way, left is that way, and they do some software trickery, but it is, you can never really overcome that. So if you're right in the middle, you're looking at the narrow side. Thank you, Lenny, dear leader. Personally, no matter the cost, I would prefer the A9 any given day. To me,
does the Edge volume rattle? Oh shit. Anyways, I'm not a biggest fan of the cheese wheel, to be honest. I like the A9. If I were to do it, I would go A9 all day long without ever even thinking about it. But because I would never use the bidirectionality of the Edge at all.
no.
Like it sits in a corner, and you're, what do you turn the speaker fucking backwards every 6 months so you use the other side?
I mean, there is some cool tech in it, as in the active bass port, which is,
Oh yeah,
which I hope we'll see back in other speakers that are sort of this side. But the way you look at an Edge now is more or less almost perfectly for stereo, except that the speakers are pointed like totally the wrong way.
mm-hmm.
Like this is something to me that hangs in like a room that's either very long or in like a hallway or something of that nature.
But even then you don't put it to stereo mode. You'd probably put it to like a, what is it, following or social mode or whatever they call it. So it just plays mono, right?
So this is the back
Mixed
side.
channels.
On the other side, you have another tweeter in mid range, and this is the bass driver and the active bass port that flaps open. Was it above 60 dB or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it really starts pumping. So in total power output, the Edge would take it, but we're talking so bloody loud at that point that it's sort of like,
Is there a worse point?
does it matter? How
Mm-hmm.
often do you listen at levels over 85 dB? I don't that often.
No, the novelty wears out. Like it's same with the 90s. Like yeah, I've had them now for 5 years, and I don't juice the shit out of them anymore as much as I used to. It's just I know what they do and what they can do, and I basically everything that I really wanted to hear loud on them, I heard them all already.
Mm-hmm.
And every time there's a seldomly, every now and then, new music that comes along, you listen to one or two tracks, and that's the end of it.
You know what? I can. So the Mark IV A9 has a tweeter and a full range driver on the right and on the left. And then you have, I think it's an 8-inch bass driver on the back, and also 2 mid-range drivers on the back. So it sort of gives that omni mode, but it is way more separated in sort of a stereo view when you're listening to it. Like I did a review on it; it's somewhere on my channel. But one of the things when you're sitting like right in front of it, because it's on, it's a bit on a sort of sphere. The speakers are sort of pointed that way, but perceptibly that means like the stereo image is here and here off to the side, which is kind of nice because the stereo image starts wider than the speaker looks it to be.
Yes.
And I mean, forget about all the custom options you can do with this to make it really your own. like you can do so many things with this before we even get to like places like skinny play and the lot.
I liked it. That's one of my favorite speakers, and it's just shame that I don't have room for it. Quite honestly, if I never bought the shape, I would have an A9 hanging or sitting in the corner of my bedroom. A long time ago. A long time ago.
Uh, copy link address. Tigris asks, can you put two A9s into left and right channels? Over Chromecast, for sure you can. I think you can pair them over Bluetooth, I'm pretty sure. But if that's also not up to you, you can also get a cable from Steve where you can do that and have something else be your source. So there's several ways of making them stereo as such.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so for if you want an A9 or an Edge, like I don't hate the Edge. I used to. I, in a way, kind of do because the placement options are so bloody weird. But I love an A9.
Oh yeah, I'll take the A9 all day long over the Edge.
And like with Skinny Play, you can make a custom cover, so you can have a, I don't know, a print of Willie's face on your A9 if you really like Willie and your A9.
Don't. Don't
There's
do
a
that to
link down
yourself.
below in the description. If you buy two, you can get 10% off, and you can also make a custom one with Willie on it. Send us a picture if you do.
Oh God. Yeah, I like the A9.
But it's
I
so
like the A9.
versatile. It's such a beautiful art piece, really. What I also much prefer about an A9 is it actually has a handle on the back, so you can move it if you want to. Like there's nowhere really to grab an edge and easily move it. Like you can, it's not that heavy, but like this is literally unplug it, lift it up with one hand and walk away with it, and it's fine.
Everybody's asking, so the A9 discussion, would you do one A9 or 128? Can you do that? You sure can, but I think that's counterintuitive. I would go with the 10. I would go with an A9.
Skinny Play, by the way, on Twitch just said you get an extra 10% off if you do a custom Willy face on it.
No, don't do.
Just for you.
Oh Christ! Now somebody's gonna be snapping weird pictures of me. Oh no!
Yeah.
You bastard! No.
So you guys have higher resolution.
It's terrible. Terrible. Okay, make me smaller again. Shrink, kitty, shrink. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love the A9. The Edge is sort of okay. When I move to a house, I'm going to get an A9 for somewhere. I haven't decided where yet, but
in my furnace room.
kitchen, whatever. I don't know. We'll see where we end up.
Well, yeah. Well, if you move to the States, you probably have more rooms than what you have now.
For sure.
And let's be an to buy because there's fuck all around you.
Well, there's a store in Florida. That's close enough.
Oh my God. So yeah, I don't know, man. I like the idea of a tiny home for some reason. It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I don't.
Live in basically your living room with everything you got. A little bigger than that.
Oh, this is from Wood Cassette, where the DJ plays on two A9s.
Nice. That's a seriously blue color.
But yeah, it's doable.
It's got a V1 behind him as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is in front of a B&O store, so back in the day.
It's funny that it's in front of the B&O shop. I see.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Wait,
why the fuck
are
was it?
these H9s? Yeah, the old H9Is, I think.
Yeah, he's got the phone tabby on it too.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. He's fully
Interesting.
into it. I hooked him up good. Does he have a BO watch on him?
I don't know. Maybe.
Should have been an NX90 laptop too. Just go full tilt.
But
So
that's sweet. Yeah. I mean, it's all doable.
not
Um,
here, not now.
I mean, as per always, it's always fully doable with B&O. There's 1,001 ways to do the same thing, which is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Also, in terms of like Bluetooth wireless built-in streamer speakers, I think B&O is one of the companies that has just about every bloody connection available.
Hmm. More or less.
By the way, I was gonna answer a question I got earlier from Matt. Where one thing I already cleared up. He was wondering if the sound on his BeoVision Harmony, if that would ever become a problem if he starts to play really loud, and he was worried about if the cones could handle it on the back of the TV. The answer to that is they'll handle it, especially since you have 50s at the front as well. And if you set it up correctly, most of the bass below, let's say 100, 120 hertz will be diverted to the 50s. So don't ever be worried that the cones will jump out of their casing. Secondly, B&O has a built-in ABL in just about all their speakers, meaning if the bass driver were to ever expand that far up and down, it would like kick into protection to stop it from doing that. And secondly, or lastly, I would say the Eclipse, maybe put it on by itself, as in like center, left, right, and just turn it up that way. And hear when you try and hear when you hear ABL kick in. You're gonna be so far over 70 dB before that happens.
What's it got? Is that the what we're talking about the picture, or it's an Eclipse instead?
Oh, it's an Eclipse. I'm sorry, I meant to say Harmony.
I would tune the harmony the same way that Jeff Martin did in the Hendrix video. See how much that makes a difference.
Yeah, I've done it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. I don't know why. It sounds a bit strange to me. I can add them in if I turn it down even more than Jeff suggests, and then it's
Hmm.
fine. But maybe I'll have to try again. But with the amount of speakers I have, like these side drivers, they're not incapable, but I mean,
Well, yeah. I just I find it sounding better with the 90s from the Avant, but the Avant is obviously very underpowered TV comparatively to what I have standing beside them. Even with the 50s, it would be still underpowered. Also, it sounds a little antiquated, I guess, comparatively to like
yeah,
the
it's
even the Eclipse or the even though it's I don't know, I don't think it's the same True Image engine though. Like they're not the same engine, but I think it's updated a little bit for the Eclipse and Harmony. And
Sarah says my harmony is distorted on very bass heavy music around 50 already. Really? Are
is
you
it
sure?
distorted or something is touching? Like wire is touching a fucking driver on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I think. Or maybe it could be that the actual music is clipping. As in like
That too.
I don't know if it comes from YouTube or whatever that
It's distorted already.
yeah, it's
But
like
I find that very hard to believe. There's something either vibrating, loose touching, or you have something that got in somewhere, or you're just the source is pooey. But I would. It's funny because, like, speaking of that kind of weird shit, Depeche Mode Ultra second track, the Love Thieves, there is naturally put in purposely distortion to the right channel. And it took me till the 90s to figure out, I'm like, fuck, my car door is not vibrating. And because I always like, what is that? Where is that? And then I listened to that on the 90s 5 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, it's in the goddamn music.
Serge, if it's heavy bass music on YouTube, try the same song on Deezer, but also could you take out a generic, I don't know, I take it you have an iPhone, download a dB meter app and tell us what dB that is at. Because your 50 doesn't have to be, like 50 volume doesn't have to be the same dB output as ours, so to say. Because in the submenus you can tweak so much and add so many dB per source, and or depending on what music mode you're in. Because I think if you go to the music setting, it auto adds, what is it, plus 9 dB on treble and plus 12 on bass, I think. I mean, because if it's it could be that distortion is in the music. I doubt it, but I've never heard my harmony distort at silly loud volumes.
Even with my Avant, because sometimes I listen to it on its own, and it never distorts, man. And that thing had inherited problems with the back panels not being magnet strong enough, or whatever. The padding wasn't in the right spot, so that bass driver would vibrate the shit out of it. It would never really distort; it would just vibrate.
Yeah.
But that was on the very first few, and then the what was it, the silencing pack or dampening pack came out that we had to order as a spare part, and then put them onto certain strategic places on the back of the panels. But that was only 1 or 2 panels or TVs that we did after that, including ours demo one. After that, the B&O corrected it.
Also, speaking about phones, this is actually why I came to it. Matt also had a phone-related question. Matt is in the UK. Is it possible to connect a Beocom 2 to an Answer Phone 1200 with the PTSD1? He asked because John said yes, but he can't remember because it was so long ago that he did that.
So he wants to have a cell phone ring on his home phone?
No, and to connect the Beocom 2 to an Answer Phone 1200. What is it? Where you get the "Hi, I'm not here" type of thing? Leave a message after the beep.
The BeoTalk 1200?
Could be.
Because that's the answering machine.
Yeah.
Just plug it in a fucking landline, dude. There's nothing special to it. Because the BeoTalk will take over after you can program it between 5 and 12 rings, I believe. My mom still has it. But I'm not sure I'm understanding this properly. And they're a little different in North America than we don't have the PSTN base. I don't know why it's called PTSD. What the fuck? That's post-traumatic stress disorder, bro.
Well, I'm literally like I forgot all about the phones. I never got into them really, other than some of the mobile phones. But
phones been so long ago now that I'm having a hard time remembering. Like, it's, that's been, boy, like Beocom 5s. When was it? Like, I remember back in the day, they had a guy that would basically make his living by just selling B&O phones. Like, there was enough people buying B&O phones that, like one guy in a shop could make a living off of it. Just that, not even selling big systems. And then by the time I started working there in 2011, it was completely dried up.
So I
Nobody
think
bought anything.
This is potentially the idea, but with a Beocom 2. Because if I do Beocom 1200, that's the
But
old.
you can, like, I have that machine. It's just the land, like, you just plug it into the landline. That's all you do. Like, I have it set up with the Beocom 5s at my mama's house.
Oh, okay.
It don't matter because as long as you don't pick up the phones before the machine does it, then that's it. And then it's pretty cool because you can actually screen and categorize calls. And I believe you can do up to 5 individual voice mailboxes. So if you have, this was back in the day when phones were fucking cool and they were attached to a wall with like a 1-foot cable off of it in the kitchen somewhere.
Yeah, and that you could hold it between your shoulder and your.
That's right. And you can, if you pissed off somebody, you can throw a handle and cause them grave bodily harm. It's made of that Bakelite or whatever the hell. Yeah. Anyways, so it just works no problem. Once you flip that panel, there's a whole keypad with the numbers and shit. You can like I honestly have forgotten how to use this. It's been so long.
Yeah,
And
I've never installed any of it, so
it's been a while.
yeah.
But yeah, you can connect any phone to it. Just plug in the BeoTalk 1200 into a flipping what's it called? Into a landline. Like just get the Y splitter so one goes to the PSTN base and one goes to the machine. And Bob's your uncle, dude. So yeah, there you go.
Apparently, Tigris has never seen a Beocom 2. Yeah, the banana phone.
Probably haven't seen this one.
Sweet.
This one is engraved. Can you see the number?
Now we can. Number 213.
Yeah. And it works.
Where did you get that?
This is the clients that has to go out. For some reason, the display wasn't working, but now it is. So I am. I actually had one. I sold it for $500 on eBay, which was the most I've ever fucking sold a Beocom 2 for. But then again, back in the day when this phone, when I bought it, because I bought 3 of them, one of them retailed for close to $1,700 or $1,800.
Mm-hmm.
They were really expensive. Are you fucking around with this bullshit?
No, I'm just showing it large.
Oh.
Also, if somebody wants to
snap me on their A9, here's your chance again, for the love of God.
With a nice, like, phallic shape.
Oh, Christ on the cross.
And you look all.
Yeah.
No, once I move to the US, we'll probably have to get a fucking landline with all these tied in internet and TV nonsense. So I'll come and get a Beocom from you.
I have none left, actually. No, I do have one. I have one that I kept. I don't have the base for it, though, so it's just a phone to show. But I kept one Beocom 2 that I painted multicam. I used to have 3 of them. I never had of just one thing of anything other than Lego. There's no point to have 2 sets of the same. But B&O, always a point to have 2 of the same, if not 3.
I mean, to me, this is still the home phone, the Beocom 5.
My mom hates the fucking speakerphone on it. I don't know why. I'm like, it's so much better just because you walk around with the bloody thing and it's fine.
I mean,
but
in terms of how house phones go, like, bloody hell, this is pretty. Like,
can you VoIP into the Beocom 2? I don't see why not. As long as you have a signal coming out into the base, then it doesn't matter. Like, I used to have Siemens Gigaset 1, it was called. And essentially what it did, you could pair up to 3 mobile phones into that base, and that would give you the phone line out into the BeoLine base, and then it connected. So when my phone rang, it would ring throughout the house or whoever's phones, and it would show caller ID. And also when you go, you would press talk, and if you wanted to call from the first phone, you press 1, and then you put the number in, and there you go.
Here, anyway, I know for sure you can, because most ISPs give you the standard router thing, right?
Hmm.
And there's all the phone lines here are over VoIP already anyway. But you have in the ISP router, you have a little converter plug thingy where one of them is literally instead of RJ45 out, it's the was it RJ22 or whatever the fuck for phone lines is.
Yeah, the 4-pin.
So you can just plug in any old-fashioned 4-pin phone line into your ISP router.
Another thing is they're really deceiving on the BeoCom 5s. A lot of people talk to the phones with the display to their ear, and they're like, "Oh, this phone doesn't sound like just there's no sound." Like, flip it around. What do you mean? I'm like, put the display away from the ear. And
RJ11.
yeah, and they go, "Holy shit, it's much better." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a little different." But that was back in the day when still was cool. You can do audio and video volume control when that was around. But yeah, Lenny, that phone it's very plastic. I think the only piece of glass on it was the bottom lip where it says Bang& Olufsen, and the rest was very hard polycarbonate, or it could have been glass. I don't really remember. I rarely use those phones. There were times when I spent hours yakking on them, but them days are gone.
Well, just don't talk long on your phone. Enjoy your speakers for longer. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, but now it's the era of cell phones, right? Like, you don't really have a need to have a landline at all. For what? To have a
To give out and then never ever pick up to like telemarketers and that shit. Oh, welcome to Costco. What's your phone number? Oh, here's the house phone number that I never ever fucking pick up.
Yeah, that's here. They more or less go by emails now. They don't care for your phone number. Email is where they can target you more, because then ads and stuff they can push. 'Cause no matter what, you can still see the email come through, or you have to actively delete it or block it or something.
Yeah. So, what do you all remember about February last year for B&O?
Nothing. I don't know what happened fucking 2 weeks ago, bro. You're asking me about February.
Apparently, B&O had a partnership with Hudley,
What is that?
a work anywhere webcam, whatever company.
Okay.
I mean, and I just the B&O press page is kind of funny because there was no news at all last year in January.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I don't remember this at all. That must have just. It's a very fly under the radar type of thing going on.
yeah, I totally had forgotten about it.
So what is that camera? Paired to the headphones and shit, or
No
just paired to the?
USB-C to your laptop, and somehow you want this over a Logitech one or something. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that happened in February last year was the level.
That is actually much cooler. It's been that long, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm not sure you could actually buy it in February,
No.
but it was announced February 4th.
Hmm. Yeah, that thing is still. I like it. To this day, I like it a lot. I just wish they did
I mean, I like that
the.
the software is finally where it's supposed to be.
Hmm. Though, speaking of level, I do have an issue with mine per se. I cannot control my Bio Remote 1 or connect my Bio Remote 1 to it. It shows connected. You can browse to Bio Remote 1 in sources. It doesn't turn on the fucking thing. I've undone the remote, rehooked it up, reconnected it, repaired it.
Does the Halo work?
Hmm.
But not the
Without a
Be
problem.
Remote one.
No. No
Is it in
Bluetooth.
sleep mode then?
Well, not when you walk by it. It fucking wakes up, right? It's plugged in constantly.
Yeah, but then it's probably asleep. So most likely, if you touch a button at that point, your remote works again.
The fuck is the point of that when I can select the source?
I know. Let them know through the feedback pages.
I do have a GVA level and I can shout at it, but the funny thing is that if I shout at the level stays quiet and the dweeb Google Assistant in my kitchen starts playing or does shit, always answers. Even though I'm like right in front of the level, the other one always responds. So I don't know why, but I don't like it.
Yeah, well, let them know. Give them some feedback. I think you can do that through the app now. They
Yeah.
won't necessarily respond to you through the app, but they will get the message.
Because I don't understand what is, and I even tried like rebooting the remote, all that nonsense, and nothing works.
Yeah, so we moved to March, and they had the BeoPlay portal, which is still an amazing headphone. To me, this is like the headphone of the year over the age 95.
I agree. Yeah, I like it.
They're more comfortable. Yes, they're not as good sounding, but they sound more fun because they have more natural bass.
Yeah, dude, and I like the fact that you can game with them.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, and for anybody wondering, you've been listening to the Portal mic from Willie's side the whole podcast now. Bloody hell, that was some fireworks.
Oh, it's been a bunch of podcasts on these headphones.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's March. What else? What else came out in March or happened in March?
Have a good evening, Prestige Creators. Thank you for last year.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the giveaways.
Take care,
amazing.
Man. Thanks for the donuts.
The HXs also came. Also in March. And one of the best thumbnails I think I made in a long time was with the B&O high-end massage chair.
Oh yeah, fuck's sake. I remember that.
I put you in it in paint. Evening, Steve.
That is so funny. Evening.
This is still one of these things like, wait, is this still a thing or was this just a press release?
I don't know. Like, I've never even heard of these companies that they're pairing up together with. Like, I don't know. I guess my life is way too poor.
Yeah. And then Bang & Olufsen appoints chief design officer, which is, I mean, finally they're hiring people again, which is kind of nice. It's probably too early to tell what he fully brings to the B&O table, but we'll see more of that probably during this year, potentially next year. I mean, but these are all the things that we forget about. We move to April. This is when they launch 28. Have a good evening, Prestige. Sleep well. Good luck tomorrow morning with kids running around.
Woodcut's asking, I've been thinking about replacing my A8 in my bedroom. How does the sound compare to the level? Ignore the connectivity. I don't, like, depends on how loud you listen to the bedroom, but if it's just like, going to bed, if you swap it out, it's more or less for the sake of room. Like the sound quality, I think at that point, you're listening with one ear anyways, is going to be not much of a difference. But level will sound better because obviously it's a newer engine, and it can self-attenuate if you leave it at one spot plugged in, right? So you can actually do the room compensation with it, and it does help quite a bit. So that's my take on it. But if you want to listen to some poundy music, I really don't think that level can keep up with two 5-inch what is it, 80 watt or 100 watt bass drivers in the A8. It just won't. So
yeah. So in April, they came up with the 28, which is like in terms of a newly launched BeoLab, the launch was terrible in that nobody could keep a secret apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of a speaker and a new BeoLab, holy hell, is it a good speaker?
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
They sound fantastic.
look at our previous podcast, and I'll do more videos on mine since I haven't had mine all that long, and I'll get more into it now the holidays are over. By the way, if you want them wall mounted, order them soon because parts production, that sort of thing, I think they're running pretty dry on wall mount versions.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're selling decently well. And it's, was it? I think one of the problems with production of the wall mount version was the angled spine. So they have everything except for the spine to do that.
Is that metal?
Yes. Like solid metal, as in like I'll cave your head in with it metal.
That's probably why.
Yeah. And then Steve's favorite are probably least impressive product of the year, the Wi-Fi router launched in April.
I hate that thing.
I mean,
and it looks cool, but
it's so good you can't even order it or find it on the website at the moment because you
apparently
can't get parts for it.
Yeah, it's in the wood. It looks okay, but in the plastic, that should have never seen the day of light.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's okay for background music, but I must say I'm not used to having to attenuate my expectance of B&O even when they're small speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was it? Lenny said he bought a burger over New Year's. Could be louder, but the quality is good. Well, the thing is, like an A1 is louder than an Emerge. The Emerge will sound better up to like
halfway, if even.
Yeah, but after that, the ABL kicks in like nobody's business, and it's what I appreciate about it is that it's literally a bookshelf speaker, aka it's meant to be in between books and look like a book and blend in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which is kind of surprising because nobody ever thought of a bookshelf speaker as in like, why doesn't it look like
literal book?
I mean, yes, it is full range and ultra wide sound, but not very loud. If you're not after that and you just want some ambient noise, that's fine. It's just incredibly expensive, in my opinion, for that purpose. Last time Steve was here, I think I also said, like, I'd rather have 2 M3s, which are qualitatively worse, but better, more fun sounding to me.
M3 is perfect. No, for me, it's like bathroom, right? Like that's where I appreciate the speaker the most.
Then in May, we get to your absolute favorite.
Oh, for the love of Christ. When was that?
In May 2021.
That's just stupid.
I still don't fully get it. People tell me that it's fantastic. The H95 Berluti just has that strap of Berluti leather. I like good leather as much as the next person. I just can't fathom paying that much extra for it.
Not for headphones that'll last you maybe 5-7 years, and then what?
I mean, to be fair, like B&O's sheepskin leather on the air caps is bloody comfortable and very nice to the touch. I mean, this is plenty for me. This is luxurious enough for me. It's at least it's not like other brands where it's like rock hard but a cup. And it's also not like, what was it? I think it was Grados I had on my head, where the foam is like that wide, but it's meant to like squish all over you, and it's like, ugh. I'm like in a
Yeah.
bouncy castle in my head.
What was the next one after the Berluti?
Be a Sound Explorer, the little can.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the Hendrix camping trip.
I mean, they weren't joking when they wrote premium durability.
Yeah, I still want to get one just for my toolbox, so I have something that Because when I come in, it's usually fucking quiet because there's a reason for it. Like I'm either installing stuff or fixing it. It's always quiet.
I mean,
But
it is rugged. It lasts a heck of a long time. I personally don't like the green, but apparently it sold quite well. So if you like the green, good for you. Enjoy.
no, not my color. Very, very much. It's too weirdly green. I'd rather go for the anthracite or whatever that other one is. The
Yeah.
dark, the blacky.
Let's move to June 2021. Again, a special edition Edge, whatever product.
Was the skinny play involved with that, or did B&O just
Saint
had somebody?
Laurent, Rive what, and Bang and Olufsen. It's like, okay,
What is that? A freaking granite company or some sort?
I think are they attached to Yves Saint Laurent? I don't know. Maybe
I don't know what that is.
it's a fashion brand.
Oh,
This is something similar. It sounds very French. So if you're French, tell us more. Hello. Also, if you're French, please like and subscribe. Bonjour.
bonjour. This is boring as far as the press release.
I've
I
never ever seen one of these at a dealer.
I have not, and I hope it wasn't like a mandatory. I think this probably just like came out in like Paris somewhere for six or seven guys, and that's it with
Uh,
marble print.
Saint Laurent Rive Droite is a creative and cultural destination curated by Anthony Vaccarello. Okay. It sounds very much not up my alley.
No, no. See, that's like skinny places only sold in Saint Laurent boutique. Where is that?
Paris,
They
probably. Paris, yeah. Well, to make up for that, they did launch a BioVision Contour in June as well.
Oh yeah, the IKEA TV. Put it together yourself.
No, but you can if you ask nicely.
Allen key's not included.
But
Like storks.
we already knew this, right? Like, I still don't get the fuss about it.
Shouldn't have been done like that. But that's just my onion.
Yeah, I understand, but like, should not and working with the client that wants to do it that way. Work with the client that wants to do it that way. That's fine.
Word.
I mean, I put my 28s together. Like, is my dealer supposed to tell me no?
Probably. No, do it. I'll have to go over there with a mask on and do it. Wear two masks.
But like, I still, yeah, I don't get it. I'm with Lenny. Like, what the hell? Just do what
I
your
don't care, it's
customer
just
asks. If your
funny.
customer wants to play Lego with B&O, then let them play Lego with B&O. It's fine.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I don't give a shit. I probably would do the same thing, but like I know people that just wouldn't want to take the responsibility. Well, it would be my responsibility, just like Lenny's, to make it right. So, and at the end of the day, whatever you sell for the first time, it's your first install, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. So, but yeah, it's a fun TV though.
I mean, and then something less interesting is a sports line for the E8, and somehow the A1 that wasn't sporty enough because now it's blue and it has a logo on it.
Mm.
I mean, this is the A1 Sport Mark II. Like, okay.
Oh, they left those holes filled, hey, in the B&O logo.
I think that there's some like
Or it's
mesh
just
on
that
the inside.
it's just printed on the fabric and then stuck on top.
No, it's on the inside, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying, like on the
Yeah.
inside fabric. Oh, whatever. Freaking other hole in the macaron. Shit. Who cares?
Yeah, and then we had the E8 3.0 Sport, which are actually kind of nice.
With the
But
proprietary earlobe retainers. Yeah.
well, they're also, I wouldn't say, no, they're water resistant. They're not waterproof, but you can pretty much like dunk them in water and it's fine.
See, is it that wonder if this is where they started the decentering their logo from the thing and somebody forgot to not to do that for the goddamn Halo. But yeah. What's next that we got there? May, June,
First,
July.
I'm agreeing with Lenny. I'm also quite OCD about putting stuff together the right way.
Oh,
Plus,
so am I, dude. Like for me, the biggest pain was actually watching people put my furniture together. I couldn't fucking oh,
plus,
couldn't
getting to
bear.
do it yourself, it's not. It's a good opportunity to understand what you actually bought, and it's not that hard. It's like come on, it's not rocket science.
Hmm.
Anyway, July we had the B&O EQ launch, which all in all is a fairly decent upgrade, both in terms of, to me, well, not in this color, but in general style, appearance, and over the E8 3.0. Partially, what is nice now is that both left and right side can be the master earbud.
Okay.
So with these, right, with
Hmm.
only the right earbud is the master one. So if that one's battery is dead because you, I don't know, left it out for long or whatever, or it didn't charge, then both your earbuds go out.
Oh, shitty.
So this is more like Apple type, where you can keep the call going and you just put one in the charging case, pull it back out again after 10 minutes, which is like 30-40% charge. And then you put the other one back in and you can keep a call going that way.
Hmm.
Or music or whatever else, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the case is slimmer, which I also like because this is quite a, yeah, quite a semi egg. It's a bit bulky for what it is.
Little tic tac.
In terms of presentation, I'm not entirely sure. Like you go, like here at least, like the logo is correct, right?
Hmm.
But with the EQs, you go, and you're just like, oh, that's being and that's
What do you need for spare parts for Biocom 2, Lenny? I have really not much. I have one phone I can give you for parts. That's basically it. And I don't know why it doesn't work. I'm assuming the board is dead, but the keyboard is pristine and so is the display. But and chassis also. But yeah, there's not much to come by. That's you're getting into that phone hobby a fucking decade too late.
I would suggest buy a second-hand pair that's in decent shape but dinged up.
For parts. Yeah, on eBay.
B&O can do Atmos, but only with Sagecom on the sound box with Dolby Atmos TM.
What is that? Is that the cheeseball soundbar?
No, we're not even up to that. It's this thing.
What the fuck? I have never even seen that. It's got the four button things like on the level, the lights.
Yeah, I think it's the Google or whatever is inside.
So what does this do?
It's a B&O has developed a built-in loudspeaker in Sagecom's new industry-leading home entertainment unit, the Video Soundbox TM. The unit device integrates the latest technologies within video, audio, OTT, and voice services, and is targeted product for service operators, such as telecom and TV cable operators. So it's more or less a set-top box with a...
Interesting. So there's a speaker inside it?
Yeah. With Dolby Atmos.
That bullshit.
It's such a bloody buzzword at this point. Because you look at this, it's like, Atmos, how?
Maybe it's using Bose's proprietary laser speakers or whatever to shoot the sound into the corners.
Sony does that now.
Those linear tweeters or whatever they're called. Or whatever. That's just... I've never even heard about this thing.
Yeah, it's it's a thing. Apparently they sell it. I mean, if Sagecom is paying B&O, like, more power to B&O. As long as you don't put it in bloody dealerships, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the hell, really? This to me is not worthy of having a B&O logo on it, but whatever. If it makes you money, if it makes you go into the clear, if this makes you able to do, I don't know, BeoLab centuries for the 100-year anniversary, go for it. I don't care at that point, as long as I don't have to see it everywhere.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. What's the next one? Shared passion for excellence. And you have the mouse one,
where they partnered with Trent Alexander-Armstrong. He is a soccer player for Liverpool, and one of I think he's a right back, one of the best right backs in football in Europe at the moment.
Word.
Which is interesting. Initially, we thought the partnership with Alonso was crazy. But then that turned out to be that you saw him all the time with B&O gear on worldwide TV. So, not a bad idea, I guess. Although, I must say, I watch in Premier League and I've yet to really see any of this other than posts like this. Then again, if his footballer mates get interested into B&O because of him...
He's got a look on his face like, did I leave the fucking gas on? For real. Like, look. Like, he's just like, did I?
I mean, like, the good thing is, like, most of his teammates get like 100 grand a week, if not more. So if they all go out and buy 90s, B&O survives another year.
So they should.
I mean, they all buy more expensive car than their buddy anyway.
Yeah, but that's just weird. Oh, yeah.
And then somehow this was all of August. Does anybody know who Lei Zhang is? I take it he's Chinese, I understand that. And he's now... is he like a big YouTuber or something? Or...
Oh, God. There's his face. Well, he's definitely like an artist of some sort, just by the pose he's throwing.
A musical superstar who will achieve an international breakthrough by Billboard.
So he's playing piano. Guarantee you that. Chinese are very good with them fingers, man. Go in there and hammer on. I'm certain of it.
Well, I hope he breaks through then, for B&O's sake. I mean, it would be quite something if it was a dud.
Lei Zhang, Chinese singer. Okay. What does he play? I wonder what instruments he plays. Oh, good for him. Look at that.
So
What freaking train is that?
I don't know.
It's a studio train. None of them are that clean.
Not in China, no.
They're probably doing the factory in the factories of the trains.
Yeah.
5 sticks.
So yeah, that's apparently all of August is Lei Zhang. Well, congratulations, Lei Zhang, if you pronounce it that way. Never heard of you, but I'll look you up later.
I just did. Don't bother.
And in September, B&O becomes official partner of the Race of Champions World Final in Scandinavia. I did know that because I put it in a thumbnail. Mm-hmm. So you have this special edition A9.
A9. I like that. I like those little the checker stripes.
Yeah, and I like the sort of orange as well. It's the right. It's not like too shouty, but it's also not so subdued you fall asleep by looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, A9 is still fucking legend, man.
I mean, it's
absolute legend speaker.
And then B&O came with this, the solutions for technology leaving lasting a lifetime, I should say, where we had 4000 Cs and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still like the idea of updating all the old stuff. It's just, go on, get on with it. Move a bit quicker. Look, you're not selling much other stuff.
I think they should have. There's no way that they're incapable of recreating another. Let's just not call it 4000 C, so everybody all gets their nipples chafed here. But if they just made a turntable, they would sell a lot of them.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, and get a generic needle from like Orthophone or something.
Yeah,
because you have different price categories already in that, and you can get them. Like that company has so much. You can, I think, start at like something like €50 and go all the way to like 2-3 grand for like a stylus. I mean, it does look good with 28s.
Oh, Matt, Willie on the A9 pets in the Halo. Remember that thumbnail? Put that on the A9 cover. Oh God, that's funny.
I mean, I like the we get the upgrade kits for the 1970 series Beograms, which I like, but the price is the price.
Yeah,
it's $5,000
for that.
Yes. I mean, granted, a new dust cover isn't cheap.
No bicycle short stickers. Twitch is getting out of hand. Oh God. Yeah, this is a little too much. Like this is almost to the point where like y'all don't know what the fuck you want to ask for anything anymore.
I mean, you also lose the data channel this way. So if you have a BeoMaster of the time, then yeah, no more remote control or that sort of thing. I mean, it is nice that you can ask for all this.
But I think this is more advantageous to people that do not own old equipment. Because if you have an old 5500 system and you upgrade this, you basically fucked up your entire 5500 system.
Yeah.
Or just get a new needle for your 5500 system or 6000, whatever.
I mean, it is nice, but one of our previous guests, Leo, also makes a bunch of these new woods around. So you could also just, I don't know, his contact details are also in the description of, I forget which podcast it is, but you can find him on Instagram too. And it's not expensive, but is 99%, if not more, of the way there.
Mm-hmm. Well, even near that 4000, right? It looked
Yeah.
freaking sick. It looked sick.
And still in September, B&O got an award for cradle to cradle certified. Because as was the idea is that almost everything in the level is replaceable, including the DSP and chip, and
including the level itself.
well, it's also upgradable. So
Mm-hmm.
that's partially the whole motor platform, right? Like if the streaming engine were to ever become antiquated or run out of power, you just pull the
Yeah.
chip out and put something the newer version in.
Yeah, providing that there is one available. If they're gonna go ahead with what they're actually promoting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's one thing to say, yes, we're gonna make a swappable chip. Yeah, cool thing that you made a removable chip and a port hatch, whatever. But is there gonna be a version 2?
I think so. They're pretty much going all in on the motor platform, which I think is a good thing because it's fairly open source. Or maybe open source is the wrong. Open to other streamers, that sort of thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
much more flexible. It's much less locked down than the old ASE platform.
Yeah. No, I like the modularity of it, especially the battery side, because that's gonna go before I think the chip boards will be available for new.
Yeah. So this is a BeoSound level totally torn down. And it's nice that things like if a Wi-Fi standard changes, you can replace the Wi-Fi chip.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to desolder a bunch of stuff. It's just sort of M.2 connections type of thing.
Yeah. What the hell are those? It's ribbon cables, I guess. I guess no, that's foam seal. That little dew of pubic hair.
uh, I that yeah, probably.
That is cool though.
But I mean, for anybody that hasn't is thinking about a level and hasn't yet touched it, they're built like bloody tanks. Like
They
they're
are very tough.
so sturdy. It's incredible.
Yeah, they are. I like the way they're built.
And then something again in October that's super forgettable. B&O makes premium Cisco
Oh, this.
headphones through the portal with somehow premium software or whatever they claim it is.
I think it's just that it connects with their shit, like the Cisco phone system, probably. That would be my wild guess. That what it would be for, because I don't see a reason. Because it's the same, like they're the same headphones that I have.
I mean, it does say Cisco on the side now. Like, yeah.
At least she's smiling.
Yeah. I mean, B&O, if you're listening, smiling people with your stuff is actually kind of nice instead of these sort of angry, disjointed sort of, oh, I'm here.
1,000 mile stare, like his.
Yeah, like, look at these H4s.
I just learned my mother died. Fuck.
Yes.
Here's some headphones. Let's take a picture of you. That's not the way to do it.
I mean, and then we got very, very pink. We got the Nordic Ice collection.
Not worth the premium, but I would probably get the balance in it. It looks sexy.
The balance actually looks more muted and nice in real life than all the others. You have the H95s look pretty pink. Same for the EQ. The A1 is actually kind of okay, but the BeoSound stage in the Nordic Ice, to me, that is so close to pink. It's like, yeah, no.
Fairly.
Well, it doesn't fit with anything. Like it's sort of not really all that pink, but it's also nowhere near white or beige or even. It's just a really odd color to me. Also, I don't know about you, but I don't associate a pink hue with winter. I mean, if anything, it's more of a blue color to me. Like when you say Nordic ice, I think very light blue, whitish hue, not pink.
Yeah.
Might be me, but
Woodka said has a good point. The Emerge needs the Cisco logo on it. It'd be great.
And then more in October. So this is all last year. SK Broadband launches AI Sound Max in Korea with Bang & Olufsen as sound partner. It's another set-top box with artificial intelligence. I mean, we're all AI, man. Well, I think these are all like marketing words that get people to do something, and it sounds cleverer than it probably actually is. I mean, listen to a phrase like this. The AI Sound Max caters for the increase in customers demanding premium home entertainment in audio solutions in Korea. AI Sound Max SK Broadband customers can enjoy movies and music and get an immersive audio experience second to none. It's like, wait, so this is better than 90s, or what are you selling me here? But it's a set-top box, so how could it be? Did you mute yourself again?
Indeed. It doesn't. I didn't even hear the clinks. Weird. Nice.
Stephen Sadesky joins B&O as an external advisor in November. Former Apple senior executive Stephen Sadesky joins Danish audio B&O, brand B&O as external advisor for support and development of the company's future product portfolio. I think this is excellent if you get some actual experts from world-renowned brands that are ridiculously successful in.
They're industry leaders, man, at this point, right?
Yeah.
Close to Apple.
I mean, and if nothing else, like half of your interface with B&O is now through an Apple device, if not 60%. I think if you do if B&O were to look
I think there's a lot more people that are B&O owners that have iPhones that are people with Android phones.
Yeah, that's partially what I mean. It's like, but also the app is the remote for half the things right now.
Should run a poll. How many people in the chat have Android versus iPhone? I'm just kind of curious to see what the difference is between what the divide is. Because there's 43 people watching. Whoever decides to vote, if we get whatever we get, I'm just curious what that would be.
Yeah, but then we'll have
Michael, real men drive trucks and uses Android That's right.
We'll probably have David again going, oops, I pressed Android when I meant iPhone, or the other way around.
We're going to be misclick voting,
Yes.
But yeah, there's definitely much more refinement when it comes to the software that is published on an iPhone or iPlatforms than any Android platform. So yeah, 18 people voted, and it's already like 67 to 33%. But I'm with you, David. Android all the way too. Put your vote in, peoples. Let's see. But yeah, so we're at the November 17th. That's their birthday. Is when they announced that.
I mean, I have nothing against Android, but the beauty of Apple in many ways for the apps is the walled off garden. It's and a con and a pro, right? Like, at least it works as intended when you can download stuff.
It always works as intended, yeah.
Yeah, with Android, it's sort of hit or miss, and you're much more version dependent on whether you have like Marshmallow, Lollipop, whatever the fuck you had back in the day to now, and which manufacturer of Android phone you have. Do you have LG, Samsung? And they all have their own skins, and it's all tweaked. And with iOS, everything is works backwardsly and forwardly, which is for an app designer kind of nice, I feel, because it's easier to implement for.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing was that, and I still held on to the Android platform even after the BeoLink gateways stopped being supported, and 7 years later we're back to Android. Android actually having the BeoLiving intelligence on it.
David says Windows Millennium is the best operating system. No, man, Windows 98 was better.
No, Windows Me, I think, was the worst out of all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 98 was superb. Like, it didn't look so clunky and so square anymore as Windows 95. Like, you had some rounded edges. It wasn't just pixels.
Yeah, that did look. XP that was my prime time of just gaming and hacking shit.
What came after XP? What?
Vista.
I think, was XP trash or was Vista trash? I don't remember.
Vista was a disaster. I remember the Windows Vista because they were selling that the transparent windows, right, and shit that they had were translucent, whatnot, and it just taxed the bitch out of the graphics card and the performance. The freaking fans were about to take off in your computer desktop thing. It's silly. Yeah, a lot more people are using iPhones, obviously.
Well, it's
almost
still
60-40.
Yeah, that's sort of what I would have guessed a bit, but this is closer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more like 65-35, maybe even 70-30. Woodke said Apple versus Android / Google is down to what ecosystem you use. I'm personally on Google, including cell phone service. Yeah, like, I don't hold it against people, but in the terms of B&O realm, as in mobile devices that work great with the B&O app and that sort of thing, I think you naturally gravitate towards iOS a bit. I mean, could you do all the installs and that sort of thing if you... Could you probably? Would you have the same sort of ease if you had an Android tablet instead of an iPad?
To do what?
Installs for other people, because you take your iPad with you, right, for installing?
No, I have what is it? The Windows tablet. Surface. And I use my phone, but yeah, you can't do anything on tablets with B&O. At least for me, like when I go, to set up Ubiquity, I find it's easier to do it on the computer. If I need to do software update on the older system, then you're fucked because you can't do it on a tablet. There's no service tool that's supported on the Android phone or Android or Apple tablet. And yeah, I always bring an actual computer. Always have. And there's a few things that I never leave my house without, and one of them is my toolbox. I don't ever leave without it. Because even if you go like, oh, it's just a simple power cycle, and all of a sudden, fuck, I needed a screwdriver to open this because I need to check that. And yeah, I always bring toolbox.
Yeah, I mean, Woodke says, so I still use iPad. Android equivalents are terrible. In terms of tablets, I think iPad has sort of stolen the game. I mean, the Windows tablet is kind of more like or the Microsoft one is kind of like more like a Windows Lite, in that I understand there's a use for it, but if you were to purely use it as a tablet, because you can like do code shit with it, right? Which you can't really do on most iPads or other tablets. It's more like a mini computer for the go than anything else. But for like,
can you run a virtual machine on an Android or an iPad?
No, I don't think so. You probably could if you jailbreak it or something like that, but
Talking about software updates, what does an update do on a speaker? Also, is every speaker upgradable? What is needed?
that very much depends on the update. Some updates are minor inconvenience fixes. Some updates, like making the Mozart platform work with the ASEA platform, are massive. And they change protocols and that sort of thing. If you're talking about updates in terms of the Mozart platform chip, that would be eventually with a physical chip to upgrade.
Yeah.
It depends on the upgrade. And is every speaker upgradable? No. There's ways around it. You can use line in or any of the things. I mean, you can make. I mean, you can pretty much attach a a Google Home to just about any of the old stuff, can you? Over the line in. So, are they upgradable? Sort of. But
he's talking to Lab 18, 19, 20, 50, and 90. So Lab 18, 19, and 20, they are upgradable. Well, so is the 50s and 90s, but the 50s and 90s you can upgrade through the online service, where the 18, 19s, and 20s you need a proper service tool in order to get inside the speaker. Also Lab 12s, you can do the same thing with, but they don't really do shit, man. It's the updates are more or less for those speakers were more or less about connectivity for WISA. There was a couple of protocol updates there. If you look at the BeoLab 12, you can change the amount of time duration the lens light stays on, or how dimly it is lit if you want it to keep on, and that's basically all there is. And then for the 50s and 90s, like the biggest update was for the first update for the 90s was when it actually made it possible to put the mic in and tune the speaker on its own. That was the biggest fucking update. And after that, I didn't really notice anything in mine that would be of any advantage or anything. Like, I haven't noticed any difference in performance of my speaker other than when the first update, and then when I tuned them, it was like, holy shit, like, now that's what I actually paid for.
There actually have been quite some differences in performance, though, throughout the upgrades. But it's to notice this, you would really need to backload version 1 software, and I doubt you'll have that somewhere. But there's a way in how 50s and 90s treat their filters and their room compensation and that sort of thing. Yeah. They're minuscule improvements. In terms of Lab 19, 18, 20, I think the only update for those was stability on WISA. Because the sound never changed because they're fairly static. Is it needed on a pair of 18s, for example? No. If you're wired and never plan to use WISA, then it doesn't matter. If you already use WISA and they don't drop out, it also doesn't matter.
Don't fix what's not broken, bro. Yeah. That's what I'm going to tell you.
I mean, I had mine updated and it did improve the WISA quite a bit, but there's still too much interference in my place that that I wired them anyway. In terms of 50s and 90s, there's auto volume control on the USB in the latest update. In one of the last updates, somehow there was some sort of interference induced where after, but was it on one of the sources or one of the inputs? If you played more than 45 minutes, you would need to power cycle the slave speaker. Which then they fixed in a version later. I mean, the ticking that was there has been solved.
Apparently, some people had the ticking. I didn't.
Well, the 90s never really had it.
Apparently, some people did, from what I heard. Which
Could
was
be
weird.
but...
Which was almost weird that they they admitted to it. That was still back when I was with BNO.
Yeah, so
I was talking to the innards. Yeah.
A lot of that is if you're unable to pull a Ethernet cable to your master speaker, the Wi-Fi connection has been improved a heck of a lot. Because up to, what was it, 2 years ago, basically, is that, I mean, there was a standard joke of like, how can you tell this B&O product is a real or fake / imitation? Well, if the Wi-Fi works, it's fake.
Yeah.
That was the joke for the longest time, because everything had Wi-Fi. It just never ever bloody works properly. Or it's connected for like 5 minutes and then dropped, and you could never redo it or reconnect it unless you had to reset it. It was bloody dumb for the longest time. But for most new products, that is no longer an issue, which is really rather pleasant.
Anyone, BeoBuddy says, anyone with an M3 find it offline and unusable to access it without unplugging reset up?
No.
I don't have that issue, but I do come across that it doesn't join every now and then. I don't know for what reason. I have to power cycle it. Like, it'll play all of its internal sources. It will not fucking join. So I have to pop it in, pop it back, and then it works.
Again, let BNO know if you have this issue. For anybody here in chat, if you ever have a suspected software issue, if you're unsure if it's software or other related, let them know. They can check this sort of stuff. They can even ask you to send over a log file, and sending over a log file is not that hard anymore in the modern app. I mean, one thing it's been a massive improvement in 2021 has been the software on just about anything.
Yeah, they definitely stepped up their game in the software department.
I mean, the app is so much better. Like, it's unreal compared to how it was when the Eclipse launched or when the 50 started.
But I think a lot of it, hopefully, they take from us as well, because we're the only really public outcry channel that is in real time for a lot of people that actually do own these products and live with them day to day. Where I believe that most of these people in BNO have BNO at home, but that BNO was from the maybe early 2000s even, right? Where, yeah, cool, yeah, I can say that I have a BeoSound 1 at home, but it's the one with the CD player. So, you know, and I'm not saying that now BNO should just hand out shit to people, but I think that their testing for software scenarios should be more expanded.
Another massive thing that's not in any of these press releases, they hired something like 80 software staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
massive.
It went from I think the software crew was like maybe 5, maybe 10 people.
I think it was 12 of them.
Yeah, and then to add 80 more, it's like, holy moly. Like,
I just hope they do their job properly.
Well, even so, the output can be expected to double, maybe quadruple, because you have like 8 times more people. So even if they're not to the fullest potential, like, what quite often happened, even up to 2020, was that if you had an issue with something like 50s or 90s, right, any of the other software production / upgrading, etc., got stopped. Because, like, holy fuck, this is going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And now they actually have the amount of staff to
delegate for troubleshooting and problems issues.
Yeah, because you don't need 20 people working on a software problem for 90s.
Yeah, 65 to 34%. 65 to 35 is iPhone versus Android. That's what I more or less anticipated. A lot more. Almost 2/3 of people are eyed, which is good.
Interesting. I mean, last week with Eric, we sort of talked about what we wanted to see next year. But so this week, I thought we might as well look back at what we actually got last year. We'll end on your favorite product, the B&O cloth, the B&O
I like
stroke.
it. I like the color, man. They shouldn't have clotted the shit out of it, but or whatever. Should have put it on the bottom. I would have been way more okay with that. But I do like it. I do like the red. I like the red color. Goes with my tools. And yeah.
Yeah, B&O, if you ever want to make a Milwaukee tool version of it, let me know. I'll put you in contact with people that can make it happen.
I don't understand why BNO doesn't get into something like that. Like, why don't you get into the like super tough construction radios? Like, let's collaborate with Milwaukee per se. They're pretty big,
Oh yeah.
and like if you put that in there, then I think I don't know. Would the people pay the more premium? People that buy Milwaukee tools are already okay with paying premium for their tools. Because if you were, and then you go buy Ryobi or some piece of shit that falls apart, second drill in of something, right?
Oh, Milwaukee Tool is expanding like crazy.
They are.
I mean,
And
I
that's what I
think.
like about it, because it's a universal platform. Then you only really need to have one or two species of batteries if you're an M18 or M12. I got both. Actually, I got three because I got the M4. But,
I think they've been
but
growing it like somewhere between 5 and 10% each year for the last 5 years. It's like,
they have, because I noticed like the tools that I started off after the accident in 2016. I rebought all of them. I'm like, holy shit! Like they actually have everything that I would need in red and black. And then a couple things that they still don't have is like the network meters and such, which the Klein tools is still a better bet.
yeah, well, let
So
me know. I'll let them know.
yeah, well they should make a freaking cable tester. Milwaukee should make a cable tester.
Yeah, that I already told Milwaukee.
Yeah, they should get on
I'm
that
not sure
shit.
what came of it, but yeah. Also, poor people, you in North America, Verizon teams up with B&O.
Yeah, I've heard of that. We talked about it. That was very recent, actually.
Yeah, it's well, it's December last year. It's one is sort of like a stage, and the other, sorry, the one is like a stage that has a bunch of speaker or two drivers cut out, and then the other thing is this round sort of dome shaped thing. Whatever that is, it's this one is only tuned by B&O, I think, and the other one, the faux stage, is made by B&O.
So what's inside the stage? Less drivers, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, the same as a stage, except for two 4-inch drivers less, and therefore also 2 amps less. But it has a like Android inside for recording and that sort of, and streaming, I think.
Mm.
So you can watch like your Verizon app on it,
Hmm.
which I still don't kind of understand, because wouldn't most modern TVs be able to have that built in?
Everything's built in nowadays.
Yeah. And now you have a stage that says Verizon on the side, like, yippee.
Yeah, dude. Verizon. So good.
Yeah, it,
Well,
it is what it is, but whatever it is, that was 21. I hope 2022 will be better.
I'm gonna start my 2022 by taking packing tape and
Drinking shitty coffee.
no, taping up my freaking smoke detectors and making a steak.
Again.
I did it yesterday. I bought 2 steaks. The fucking meat is on sale. I'm like, what? Like nobody's buying meat anymore.
Yeah, it's from last year.
Like what? So.
Or is it this foam meat stuff?
No, I'm not eating no freaking compressed maggots or whatever the fuck. They put them in those vegan sausages. It's funny, like when the pandemic hit, like everything was sold out except the vegan section, fucking fully stocked, man. It's like that and Twinkies is gonna be the only thing that's gonna be left after the apocalypse hits.
At least Twinkies are actually closer to actual food than that vegan stuff is.
Oh man, that's so overprocessed. But anyways,
yeah, I'm gonna call it. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you all for the donos, the subscribing, the being awesome channel members. Hope 2022 will be better. Even so, and then again, looking back on it, I don't think we can really complain about 2021.
No, I don't think so at all. I think the 21 was a very good year for BNO, even though it was, on the shiitake side.
Since we started, it's sort of going up a bit.
It's going up. But they're also addressing a lot of issues that they haven't been addressing for a while.
And they started making money.
You would wonder why, right? If you start fixing your problems, then, things are going to start getting better.
Ooh.
Who
I guess we should have done that like 5 years ago.
Exactly. Right? I should have done it when the moment was around still. Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good night. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And see you tomorrow on Twitch.
You bet.
And otherwise, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.